The Grand Canyon, one of America's most iconic natural wonders. Each year, millions of visitors stand at its rim, gazing into the vast, colorful chasm carved by the Colorado River over millions of years. The canyon's immense beauty draws people from around the world, but beneath this majestic facade lies a darker reality. The same rugged terrain that inspires awe can also be unforgiving, dangerous, and at times deadly. Today we explore the mysterious disappearance of Jonghyon Won, a 45-year-old man from Los Angeles who vanished without a trace at the Grand Canyon in September 2017. His case joins the troubling statistics of people who go missing in America's national parks each year. Over 1,000 travelers have gone missing since 2016 alone. What makes Won's case particularly perplexing is not just that he disappeared, but that he had no known plans to visit the Grand Canyon in the first place. Jonghyon Won was a 45-year-old Asian male who lived in Los Angeles, California. Standing 5 feet 7 inches tall and weighing approximately 121 pounds, Won had black hair, brown eyes, and wore glasses. Little public information exists about Won's personal life, occupation, or hobbies. This lack of personal detail has only deepened the mystery surrounding his disappearance. What we do know is that on September 17, 2017, Won's white Toyota Camry was discovered parked at Moran Point, on the south rim of Grand Canyon National Park. The vehicle had California license plates, confirming it belonged to the Los Angeles resident. Prior to being found at Moran Point, the same vehicle had been spotted near the new Hance Trailhead, another location along the south rim of the canyon. To understand the circumstances of Won's disappearance, we need to examine the locations involved. The Grand Canyon National Park spans over 1.2 million acres of rugged, semi-arid terrain in northern Arizona. The canyon itself is approximately 277 miles long, up to 18 miles wide, and reaches depths of over a mile. The south rim, where Won's car was found, is the most visited part of the park, featuring numerous overlooks and trailheads. Moran Point, where Won's car was ultimately discovered, is a popular scenic overlook located along Desert View Drive, approximately 17 miles east of Grand Canyon Village. Named after landscape artist Thomas Moran, this viewpoint offers spectacular panoramic views of the canyon, including several prominent rock formations and the Colorado River far below. The new Hance Trailhead, where Won's vehicle was initially spotted, is located just a few miles west of Moran Point along the same road. Unlike Moran Point, which is a developed viewpoint with parking and facilities, the new Hance Trailhead is unmarked and considerably more obscure. There is no designated parking area at the trailhead itself. Visitors typically park at nearby pullouts along Desert View Drive. The new Hance Trail, also known as the Red Canyon Trail, is one of the most challenging and remote trails in the Grand Canyon. It's classified by the National Park Service as a primitive trail, meaning it receives minimal maintenance and is recommended only for experienced hikers with advanced navigation skills. The trail descends approximately 6.5 miles from the rim to the Colorado River, dropping over 4,400 feet in elevation. This is not a trail for casual hikers or the unprepared. It features steep, loose terrain, numerous obstacles, and sections where the path becomes difficult to follow. The trail begins in a forested area but quickly descends through layers of rock into increasingly barren terrain. Hikers face scrambling over boulders, navigating steep switchbacks, and traversing exposed sections with significant drop-offs. There are no reliable water sources along the route, and summer temperatures can exceed 100 degrees Fahrenheit. What makes the New Hance Trail particularly relevant to Won's case is its obscurity. This is not a trail that casual visitors stumble upon. It requires prior knowledge and deliberate intent to find. The fact that Won's vehicle was spotted near this remote trailhead raises questions about his intentions and level of preparation for such a challenging hike. Let's trace what we know about the timeline of Jonghyon Won's disappearance. Unfortunately, the publicly available information is limited, creating significant gaps in our understanding of the events. What we do know is that on September 17, 2017, park rangers discovered Won's white Toyota Camry parked at Moran Point on the South Rim. The vehicle had previously been sighted near the New Hance Trailhead, though it's unclear who made this observation, or exactly when the car was moved from one location to the other. Upon finding the abandoned vehicle, park rangers would have followed standard protocol, checking for any backcountry permits associated with the owner, looking for notes or itineraries left in the vehicle, and attempting to contact the registered owner. When these efforts failed to locate Won, a missing person investigation would have been initiated. What's particularly unusual about Won's case is that, according to the National Park Service, he had no known plans to visit the Grand Canyon. His family and friends were apparently unaware of any intention on his part to travel to Arizona. This unexpected presence at the park adds another layer of mystery to his disappearance. Following the discovery of Won's abandoned vehicle, the National Park Service would have launched search operations in accordance with their established protocols for missing persons. While specific details about the search for Jonghyon Won are not extensively documented in public sources, we can outline what typically occurs in such situations. The initial search would have focused on the areas around Moran Point and the New Hance Trailhead, with teams checking nearby viewpoints, facilities, and the first sections of trails in the vicinity. Given the sighting of Won's vehicle near the New Hance Trailhead, special attention would have been paid to this challenging trail. Search and rescue teams in national parks typically employ a combination of ground searchers, helicopter reconnaissance, trained search dogs, and technical specialists depending on the terrain. The Grand Canyon's immense size and extreme topography make search operations particularly challenging. Searchers must contend with steep cliffs, loose rock, dense vegetation in some areas, extreme heat, and limited water sources. If the initial search yielded no results, efforts would have expanded to cover a wider area, potentially including the entire length of the New Hance Trail down to the Colorado River, as well as adjacent trails and off-trail areas. In cases where a missing person might have descended into the canyon, searchers must methodically check side canyons, ravines, and other areas where someone might have fallen or sought shelter. Despite what would have been extensive search efforts, no trace of Jonghyon Won has ever been found. No clothing, equipment, or remains. It's as if he simply vanished into the vast wilderness of the Grand Canyon. The search for a missing person in the Grand Canyon presents unique and formidable challenges. The canyon's immense size, 277 miles long, up to 18 miles wide and over a mile deep, creates an enormous search area. The terrain is among the most rugged in North America, with countless places where a person could become injured, trapped, or hidden from view. The New Hance Trail area, where Won's vehicle was spotted, is particularly challenging for search operations. The trail is steep and poorly defined in places, with numerous opportunities to lose the path. The surrounding terrain features countless ravines, rock formations, and dense vegetation that can conceal a person or evidence of their passage. Weather conditions in the canyon can be extreme and unpredictable. During September, when Won disappeared, daytime temperatures on the rim typically range from 70 to 80 degrees Fahrenheit, but can exceed 100 degrees Fahrenheit at the bottom of the canyon. Sudden thunderstorms are common in late summer, bringing lightning, flash floods, and dangerous conditions for both the missing person and searchers. Wildlife presents another consideration. The Grand Canyon is home to mountain lions, black bears, venomous snakes, and other potentially dangerous animals. While attacks are rare, they must be considered as possible factors in disappearances. Finally, the passage of time works against search efforts. With each passing day, physical evidence becomes more degraded, scents become harder for search dogs to track, and the likelihood of finding someone alive diminishes. If a person has fallen in remote terrain or become incapacitated, natural processes and wildlife can quickly obscure evidence. In the absence of definitive evidence, several theories have emerged regarding what might have happened to Jonghyon Won. Let's examine the most plausible explanations. The first and perhaps most straightforward theory is that Won attempted to hike the challenging New Hance Trail and met with an accident. The trail's extreme difficulty, combined with its remote nature and the harsh environment, makes it a dangerous undertaking even for experienced hikers. If one was unprepared or underestimated the trail's challenges, he could have fallen, become dehydrated, or suffered another medical emergency. The rugged terrain could have concealed his location from searchers, especially if he ventured off-trail. A second theory considers the possibility of intentional disappearance. The fact that Won had no known plans to visit the Grand Canyon raises questions about his intentions. Some have speculated that he may have chosen this remote location deliberately if he was contemplating ending his life or wanted to disappear from his normal life. However, without more information about Won's personal circumstances or mental state before his disappearance, this remains purely speculative. A third, though less likely scenario involves foul play. While violent crime is rare in national parks, it cannot be entirely ruled out. However, the remote location and lack of any evidence pointing to an altercation make this theory less probable than others. Another consideration is that Won may have planned to hike elsewhere in the park but became disoriented. If he parked at the new Hance Trailhead but intended to hike a different trail, he might have become lost in the network of unofficial social trails that exist along the rim. This could explain why his car was moved to Moran Point. Perhaps he was trying to find his way back to his vehicle or a more recognizable landmark. Finally, there's the possibility that Won ventured into the canyon but exited at a different location, perhaps becoming disoriented or deliberately choosing to leave the park without returning to his vehicle. However, the lack of subsequent sightings or activity makes this scenario unlikely. Jonghyon Won's disappearance, while unique in its specific circumstances, shares similarities with other cases of people who have vanished in national parks. The Grand Canyon, in particular, has a long history of mysterious disappearances. One comparable case is that of Floyd Roberts III, who disappeared in the Grand Canyon in June 2016. Roberts, 52, was hiking with two companions when he left them to find water and never returned. Despite extensive searches, no trace of him was ever found. Like Won, Roberts vanished in the vast wilderness of the canyon without leaving evidence of his fate. Another case with parallels is that of Morgan Heimer, a 22-year-old river guide who disappeared in June 2015 while leading a commercial trip on the Colorado River through the Grand Canyon. Heimer was last seen near Pumpkin Springs, and despite his extensive experience in the canyon, he vanished without a trace. As with Won, the challenge in terrain and vast search area complicated efforts to find him. These cases highlight a troubling pattern of disappearances in America's national parks, particularly in vast wilderness areas like the Grand Canyon. The combination of rugged terrain, extreme conditions, and the sheer size of these protected lands creates perfect conditions for people to vanish without explanation. As of today, Jonghyon Won remains classified as a missing person, and the investigation into his disappearance continues. His case is listed in the National Park Service's Cold Case Database, and the investigation remains under the jurisdiction of the NPS Investigative Services Branch, which can be contacted at 888-653-0009. While active, large-scale search operations have long since concluded. Park rangers, maintenance workers, researchers, and the thousands of hikers who traverse the canyon each year serve as informal search parties. The National Park Service maintains information about Won's case and continues to accept any tips or information that might help resolve the mystery of his disappearance. Cases like Jonghyon Won's have contributed to ongoing discussions about visitor safety in national parks. The National Park Service continually evaluates and enhances its safety protocols, educational materials, and search and rescue capabilities based on lessons learned from missing person cases. In recent years, many parks have improved their trailhead information, providing more detailed warnings about trail difficulty, recommended preparation, and potential hazards. Some parks have installed additional emergency communication systems in remote areas, though the vast wilderness of places like the Grand Canyon makes complete coverage impossible. The NPS also emphasizes preventative search and rescue (PSAR) programs, which focus on educating visitors before problems occur. These programs include trailhead information boards, ranger talks, and online resources that help hikers understand the risks they face and how to prepare appropriately. From Jonghyon Won's disappearance and similar cases, several important safety lessons emerge for wilderness travelers. First, always inform someone of your specific hiking plans, including your intended route, destination, and expected return time. In Won's case, it appears no one knew of his plans to visit the Grand Canyon, which delayed the recognition that he was missing and complicated search efforts. Second, research and prepare appropriately for the specific challenges of your destination. The new Hance Trail is one of the most difficult in the Grand Canyon, requiring advanced skills and preparation. Underestimating the difficulty of such trails can lead to dangerous situations. Third, carry essential safety equipment even for what seems like a short hike. This includes plenty of water, at least 1 gallon per person per day in the Grand Canyon, food, navigation tools, first aid supplies, and emergency communication devices like satellite messengers, which work even in areas without cell service. Fourth, stay on established trails, especially in unfamiliar terrain. Many hikers who become lost do so after leaving the main trail, whether intentionally or by mistake. In the Grand Canyon's complex topography, it's remarkably easy to lose your way once you leave marked paths. Fifth, Be willing to turn back if conditions deteriorate or if you feel uncomfortable continuing. Many wilderness accidents occur when hikers press on despite warning signs that they should return to safety. Finally, consider hiking with a companion whenever possible, especially in challenging terrain. A hiking partner can provide assistance in case of injury or help navigate if you become disoriented. The disappearance of Jonghyon Won at Grand Canyon National Park remains an unsolved mystery. Like many who vanish in America's vast wilderness areas, the exact circumstances of his fate may never be known. The canyon keeps its secrets well. What we do know is that on September 17, 2017, a 45-year-old man from Los Angeles had his car discovered at one of America's most spectacular and dangerous natural wonders, and he was never seen again. His case reminds us of the dual nature of our national parks, places of incredible beauty that can also be unforgiving and perilous. The Grand Canyon, with its immense scale and extreme terrain, has claimed many lives throughout history. Some of these cases are well-documented accidents with known outcomes, while others, like Won's, remain shrouded in mystery. Each year, approximately 12 people die in the Grand Canyon from causes including heat stroke, drowning, falls, and medical emergencies. An unknown number simply disappear. Won's case serves as a poignant reminder that even in our modern world of GPS tracking and instant communication, it is still possible to vanish without a trace. It underscores the importance of proper preparation, communication of plans, and respect for the power of nature. For Jonghyon Won and his family, we can only hope that someday some evidence will emerge to provide answers and closure to this perplexing case. If you have any information about the disappearance of Jonghyon Won, or if you were visiting Grand Canyon National Park on or around September 17, 2017, and may have seen him, please contact the National Park Service Investigative Services Branch at 888-653-0009. The majestic peaks of Rocky Mountain National Park stand as silent sentinels over some of America's most breathtaking wilderness. With over 4.5 million visitors annually, these mountains offer adventure, solace, and unparalleled natural beauty. But beneath this serene facade lies a darker reality. These same mountains can be unforgiving, dangerous, and at times deadly. They hold secrets, and sometimes they hold the missing.